Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm going to be doing breakdowns of the Charles Olivera Dustin Poirier fight coming up next weekend. Going to be starting out with the champ first, and we're going to be breaking down both of their last fights. So I'm going to be going over Charles Olivera versus Michael Chandler today. I do think it's kind of odd that he's the underdog, but it's okay. He's the champ. So we're going to be starting out. He immediately takes center cage like he always does, opens up with this lead leg teep to the chest. He knows that Chandler is pretty prone to shooting, and after he lands it, he'll actually pick up the knee and fake like he wants to go back to it, which he gets Chandler to bite on it, and then immediately goes to this low calf kick that Chandler's susceptible to. He gets the knockdown, and then Chandler pops back up and immediately starts going to the body. This is actually kind of the theme to this fight. It's what has Chandler get his best moments of the fight, and it's also what cost Chandler the fight. Because notice Chandler's lead hand, he's dropping it hardcore. So after that, he's going to start going back up. There's going to be some space. Charles will land this push kick right to the chest. He's really did his research, seeing how he changes levels coming in. And then right after that, Chandler will go straight back to the body. Charles doing this long guard. It was pretty effective on distance control. And you got Chandler going right back to the body here. These aren't the best shots, but he's landing these shots as well. Then here is when it starts to get real dicey for Charles, okay? So Chandler switches from going straight to the body, and he punches to the chest with his right and immediately goes left hook, which clips Charles and puts him on the back foot. So Chandler will actually roll, throw another left, which causes a lot of damage, puts Olivera on some shaky legs. This part is actually what worries me for Dustin in this next fight, because he hits him and immediately gets the double leg on a great wrestler like Michael Chandler. And the shot that he shot under wasn't a heavy shot. This is it right here. It was just a straight right hand. It wasn't a big overhand. So what does make me feel more comfortable is this is where they landed. And Dustin, he has a good ghillie, even though he's never landed it. But anyway, Charles is able to escape that guillotine, goes to like a half guard position, and immediately starts leaning over Chandler, which Chandler, somebody who's wrestled since before he could walk, is going to start to create space because he wants to get to his knees and stand up, which exposes his back. Charles knows this, sinks his hips back, shoots the first half of his seatbelt grip, stays nice and heavy, and controls the back. Now what Charles is going to do is he's going to bring his right knee up to control his Chandler's hips a little bit better, about right here. Now, in an ideal world, you'd be able to sit to your left hip, kick that right leg out and take the back. But in this position, for one, there's too much space. The way Chandler is laying, it wouldn't really be too effective. And Chandler doesn't really give him the option because he's going to start to come up to that knee, allowing Charles to sink both of his hooks in and get that seatbelt grip. Now, one thing that Charles does that I really enjoy, and I've actually started implementing it myself, is he goes both hands on one on the underhook side. So it's not really an attacking position, but it's so good for control. And that's one thing that he needs right now. Chandler has a great submission defense. There's a better angle of it. So he needs to be more worried about keeping the position before he can start to attack later. One thing that I was so impressed with in this fight was how much attention to detail Charles, I don't know if he watches a bunch of film or his team watches a bunch of film and they just prepared well, but he knew exactly what Chandler was going to do pretty much throughout the whole fight. He knew Chandler was a big, explosive, strong guy. He knew that he was going to start working his way to stand up. You see right here, Charles will even switch his feet so he can keep better control of it. Right before, if anyone who's seen the fight, Chandler starts to stand up. But like I said, it was so impressive watching Olivera. Chandler did well too, but it was just the way that Charles he knew exactly what was going to happen on the feet and on the ground. So Chandler starts to stand up, Charles gets this body triangle position, still keeping control with his arms, and he knows that he's about to go for a ride. This is why he switches to the body triangle. If he would have kept both hooks in, there's a solid chance that it's almost guaranteed that Chandler, when they hit the ground, would have exploded out. But that's not the case. So he hits the ground. You see Olives starts to immediately hike that leg up, the top leg of the triangle, because he doesn't want Chandler to have both of his feet on the ground so he can get better control of his hips. Now, one amazing thing that Chandler does here is his main goal is he does not want to lose control over one of Charles's hands. He has two hands on one the whole time. He's very competent, and he knows how good his submission defense is. So he knows if Charles only has one hand, he's not going to get submitted. I mean, it's a dangerous game to play, but he's very confident. So the whole time, Chandler's main priority is keeping his hands, both hands on one on Olives. Now, what I like what he does is he starts getting complacent, where it looks to where he's not going to move anymore. He's just kind of playing possum a little bit, focusing on the hands right before he starts to explode. So he kind of just lays back a little bit, explodes hard, gets that foot to the mat, pops out. He stays here a little bit too long. You see his right arm still in there. Charles is able to hip out, get the triangle closed, but Chandler, someone who's never been submitted and rolled with some very high-level jiu-jitsu guys in Bellator, well, not rolled, but fought with some, grappled with them a lot too. He's able to get out. Charles kind of goes for this little sweep here, doesn't get it. You're not going to sweep a great wrestler like that. Tries to come up. Chandler just pushes him down, stands back up. Now Chandler's on the hunt. He knows he's already hurt Charles with a blitz, and he knows that if he hits him again, that he's not going to be able to do it. Get back up and keep fighting like he just did. So what he does here is, I'm not going to show what happens, but he throws a blitz that doesn't really land anything, and immediately throws this right hand right afterwards. And the right hand actually just kind of clips Charles in the back of the ear, which does a lot of damage. Actually, this sequence, as a Charles Olivera fan, I really thought it was over with. I couldn't believe, watching it live, that Olives was able to survive this onslaught, okay? I thought it was great reffing on the ref's part, because once they landed right here, I thought it was over with. I was like, well, Michael Chandler's the new champion. Congrats. He conquered Bellator, came over as the hottest prospect in MMA, and he did it. He's going to be a filthy rich millionaire. But Charles is able to survive. They said he was throwing some head movement. I really do think Charles was just hurt really bad and couldn't really hold his head up. So Chandler jives in his guard. This is how dangerous Charles is. He's not there. I guarantee you, if you stop the fight and ask him what his name is, he would say that he's Billie Eilish. But he still throws these submission attempts right here. Now, he wasn't able to pull anything off, and the round just kind of ends with Chandler on top. As soon as the next round starts, though, it's like nothing ever happened. Immediately goes back to his game plan. He picks that lead knee up, knowing that Chandler's going to look to explode. And he's right, because Chandler is going to look to explode. He picks this knee up. Chandler's going to go right back to what was happening in the previous round. He's going to throw straight to the body. And this is pretty much the beginning of the end. Chandler is going to back out with that left arm dropped, like we were talking about before. And the shot heard around the world will land. It was such a great read by his team and by Charles as he starts to exit out on this left hook, guys. I mean, and it was so perfect. You can see his right hand is going to be up. I mean, if you wanted to teach somebody who's never thrown a left hook how to throw a left hook, you'd show them this video. You'd show them this picture. I mean, it was all perfect. And it wasn't even that there was a lot of power. It was just the perfect placement, okay? So right here caused the finishing sequence. And me and my teammate Andy Carrington were talking. That's the most dangerous guy to have you hurt. Because what are you going to do? Stand and bang with him? I mean, he's technically so good. He's so technically sound. And what are you going to do? Shoot on him? You're going to get choked so fast. But, yeah, that's my breakdown for Charles. I'm going to be doing Dustin's next on his last fight with Conor McGregor. A lot of good things that happened there. People like to kind of write it off because of the weird ending, but Dustin had a great performance there. But that's all I got. Thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. And then, and I will be putting the official prediction on the next one. Thank you.